When the deep-sea trawler Nusantara 4 drifted into the misty, sun-baked port of Merauke on the Indonesian coast of Papua, it wasn't carrying a routine catch of prawns. It brought back 6 terrified crew members, 1 empty bunk, and a deck washed raw with bleach. The captain claimed 24-year-old deckhand Mateo Vance had simply slipped overboard in the dead of night while navigating the treacherous currents between Darwin and Merauke. But when Australian and Indonesian maritime investigators stepped onto the bloodless, chemical-soaked timber, they didn't find the marks of a tragic accident. They found the unmistakable stench of a cover-up and a silence so heavy it felt like murder. The first 50 seconds of any investigation are about reading what the physical space is desperately trying to hide. Australian federal agent Sarah Lynn and Indonesian inspector Budi Santoso immediately noticed the inconsistencies. Mateo's boots were neatly placed by his bunk, his wallet untouched, and the ship's log entry for the night he vanished had been completely torn out. Captain Willem Ros, a hulking Dutch-Indonesian veteran with eyes like cold slate, insisted Mateo was drunk and lost his footing. But Mateo's mother, waiting at the docks, handed Inspector Santoso a printed message Mateo had sent via satellite Wi-Fi just 4 hours before he disappeared. "If we dock and I'm not on board, don't look at the ocean. Look at the freezer cargo." Driven by the text, Lynn and Santoso forced their way past the captain's protests and descended into the ship's sub-zero hold. Buried beneath tons of flash-frozen sea life, they didn't find Mateo's body. They found crates marked with fake shipping seals containing undocumented, high-grade smuggled minerals and wildlife, alongside human restraint gear. The Nusantara 4 wasn't just a fishing trawler. It was an off-grid transport vessel operating for a regional syndicate. The twist came when forensic technicians dusted the vessel's hidden lower deck. The chemical wash couldn't erase the trace luminescence of blood illuminated by UV light, and it wasn't just Mateo's. Analysis revealed 3 distinct blood profiles embedded in the wood grain beneath the mess hall, stretching back months. Mateo hadn't merely stumbled into a smuggling operation. He had discovered that the vessel's crew was systematically discarding whistleblowers and uncooperative deckhands into the shark-infested waters of the Arafura Sea. As Inspector Santoso interrogated the youngest crew member, an 18-year-old local named Thomas, the emotional core of the tragedy shattered open. Breakdowns in the interrogation room revealed that Mateo had actually tried to protect Thomas from the syndicate's enforcers on board. On Mateo's final night, when Captain Ros and his first mate cornered the young man, Mateo had fought back not to save himself, but to buy time for Thomas to hide evidence of the syndicate's financial trail on a flash drive, the very drive Thomas now pulled from around his neck, sobbing as he handed it to the agents. Mateo knew he wasn't leaving the Nusantara 4 alive, but his final act ensured that the men who ruled the vessel with terror would never sail again. Captain Ros and 3 crew members were taken into custody in irons, exposing a trafficking corridor that stretched across Southeast Asia and Australia, proving that while the ocean can swallow a body, truth has a way of floating to the surface. Enjoying the video? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more dark, real-life true crime stories. Do you think justice was fully served in the case of the Nusantara 4, or are deeper maritime syndicates still pulling the strings? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read and reply to every single one.